Hey people, Winfred here, 1v1, Quest Heresy, blue side. It's Bruce Campbell with a Plague Champion, starts off range combat with a damage over time bolter, can get melee weapons, some decent utility and support, can build turrets and repair, but is very slow. Up against is Yogg'Saron as a Warlock melee hero that can leap into combat with some powerful spells, give him support, disruption and offense. Quest Heresy then, always a slightly odd map I thought because of the super open nature of it, but it seems to be relatively popular. That open nature might suit Chaos as the game goes on because it's quite easy to traverse, and those pitched battles with the later units toe to toe might suit them. But expect perhaps a very early engagement advantage for the Eldar, depending on how this guy can use his Destructor on the Heretics maybe. They seem to be going southeast to the contested VP over there to stay the hell out of his way. There is a natural power for both players and another power that's slightly less natural and it's harder to defend because of this wall in the way. CSM going after it. We do have double Dire Avengers for Yogg'Saron with some Howling Banshees, power melee squad that are vicious on retreat against heavy armor. These CSM need to be careful. We can catch a bunch of stuff through this little area here because so much of it funnels through there when it's on retreat. Can set it up with bombs and the like. Eldar don't have bombs though. Warlock can jump on ya, annoying the Plague Champion. Plague Champion, poor little fella, has the lowest melee DPS by default, I think, out of all of the heroes. Warlock does get that little speed boost, I believe, after he leaps. He doesn't have a traditional melee charge though. 496, 486 very early on. Heretics, Doom Blast and flee. They don't really want to fight Heretics, fight Banshees I should say, in their default state. Here comes the Warlock, knocking back all three CSM and then a special attack. He's feeling super disruptive. There's that Plague Champion trying to make him stink. Now he's going to decap that power. Bruce Campbell straight into some Havocs. And a Shuriken for Yogg'Saron, so how we really respond to that. We might see some Raptors, which would be pretty fun. But he might just use the relatively open nature to kind of skirt around the firing arc of the Shuriken. Yogg'Saron can also do that, of course, especially with a Warlock who can jump on the Havocs and Banshees who can be super dangerous. He's going to finish his cap, I think. Strong start for Yogg'Saron. Doesn't want to get caught too far forward, so they get suppressed. There we go, backs them away. But they still get suppressed for a second. Shuriken's also set up in the mid. CSM have now seen it, so we'll see how Bruce Campbell responds. Warlock is flanking around. Knows that the Havocs are there and is going to get a jump on him, I think. Nicely done by Yogg'Saron. Can the Banshees capitalize by getting in on the CSM here? They're going to try, and there's the full retreat out from Bruce Campbell. Waiting for his Havocs to pick their weapon back up before retreating so they don't get all those free retreat hits against them in melee. Here are some Raptors from Bruce Campbell. Jump troops for Chaos. Suppress units when they land will be a massive pain in the ass for the Shuriken. 461 to 471. Banshees in retreat path. They should be okay. Yeah, didn't even drop a model, in fact. Oh, they do drop a model. Warlock is going to get a decap. A double then, early on for Yogg'Saron. Here's the Havocs again, with that heavy bolter. Warlock needs to be careful here that half of his hit points can go very fast. It's only 300 hit points that he's on. Another Guardian weapon team on the way for Yogg'Saron. Warlock gets in on the Plague Champion. Raptors jumping in for their first look at the Eldar. Doing a good job against the Banshees with some CSM support there. Banshees getting away with just 2 models, in fact. Warlock also gets away. These guys didn't have the energy to jump again, the Raptors there. Would have been a dead Warlock otherwise. There's the jump though. Gets onto the Shuriken. Should force retreat. Unless those guys can do some grenade stuff. They don't have any grenades, so they can't do that. Here's the other one. So he can overlap the Shurikens to deter those Raptor jumps. Plague Champion gets his VP back. This should be it for tier 1 in terms of units, I would think. So how can the players maneuver now? Havocs should get the suppression on the Shuriken there. Eventually, there we go. Suppression there slowed down by the fact that those guys were in some heavy cover. CSM are kind of low. Need to be wary of Banshees, maybe hang out near these Havocs, fellas. I'm a big fan of the fetid armor for the Plague Champion. That one-click suppression is very useful. It lasts a long time as well. As long as you can get your Plague Champion into range, of course. It's an AoE around him. And it helps when you're fighting a melee hero, like the Warlock. Here he comes. Only knocked back 2 models that time with his jump. I'm a big fan of the Warlock having that leap back. I like little unique things for the heroes, such as the Plague Champion's performance under suppression, which sets him apart. Needs to retreat here, needs to retreat through Banshees, but I think Banshees are too low to turn and fight him. Yeah, they are. Raptors doing well again. Getting a big chunk of XP, these guys. Havoc setting up again. There's some Nurgly worship, giving you some health regen. And it does apply to vehicles also these days, and gives extra regen to demons over the other worships, I believe. Raptors might jump. Nope, didn't want to wait around for the energy. 329 to 471 on the VPs. Good tier 1 for Yogg'Saron, but the Raptors did really do some work for Bruce Campbell. What do we see tier 2 then? Blood Crusher, maybe. Maybe. I would probably get one to try and force one of these Guardian Weapon teams to get a Bright Lance, and then the Raptors can do a lot more work a bit more freely. Heretics bashing a node to try and get it back with their aspiring champion. CSM running into a Guardian Weapon team on the southeast VP. Warlock does have his Merciless Switchblade, awesome tier 1 weapon. Drains energy on hit, knocks back with the range attack, and does some good DPS. So great to fight those Raptors with, drain their energy. Banshees are there too. They do have the aspect of fleetness, so they'll be jumping over things like that. And also the Exarch herself will have dual power swords when they get her up. Standing off here, Bruce Campbell trying to invite Yogg'Saron onto him from the front, but I think he's too smart for that. He's going to come in from the flanks if he can and do things like this, try and force the Plague Champion to respond to decaps. Maybe catch him flat-footed, leap on any dodgy movement with some grenades maybe. Does he have grenades up? Yep, on these Dire Avengers. Talking about flanking, Plague Champion with some flanking melee action there. Getting in on the Guardian Weapon team, nicely done. Warlock's fighting. Killed a Chaos Space Marine. Might go down though. Oh, stayed in that fight way too long. It's going to go down. Raptors with their aspiring champion. He has a Power Fist and a Melter Pistol. That guy does not mess around. Banshee is still happy to fight them, especially when they get their Exalt. They don't have her yet though. Dire Avengers moving east with them. Shoot up this Plague Champion. Needs to be careful. If he gets caught on retreat by those Banshees, he could be very, very dead. Does he have any War Gear? No War Gear, and still level 1. They're going to get on him. Trying to move through them before he retreats. Oh, got knocked over though. And I see some touch of Noble. Down goes that Plague Champion. That's a global ability of the Plague Champion. Providing area of effect, damage, knockback, and a heal when one of the affected models dies. The damage dealt is scaled off the health, the maximum health of the model. I believe the heal is also. So if you can get that on Terminators or Plague Marines, who already explode when they die, it can do wondrous, wondrous things for you. Full power for both players. Oh no, only 2 over here for the Warlock. Gone tier 2. Finally, already a Dreadnought on the way for Bruce Campbell. Plague Champion being down though is a big deal. Energy shields up everywhere. The CSM got the decap bravely. Barely getting away with 2 models though. Raptors now bashing the node. They'll get some XP for that and some red. Down to 3 models, but the aspiring champion's still there. And they jump away. Or rather, jump on these fellas. Gonna get a couple of models, I would think. I think they only got 1. Heretics coming to help them out. Banshees will have a nice fight against the Raptors, but Heretics will make them flee, I think, here. Yeah, they don't really want to fight him with the aspiring champion there, especially Touch of Nurgle being available to the Plague Champion. Bad news for Banshees. You can set up kills with it pretty nicely because of that knockback. 232, 390, there's the Destructor going off. Fires 2 bolts these days in very quick succession that deal, I think, slightly more when they're added together than before. But adds a bit more variation to the accuracy of it. There's that Dreadnought. Begins with that autocannon, good damage to all targets and a small area of effect. Look at this. Decent range. There's a Rapture Jump. That is a dead Guardian Weapon Team. Power Fist absolutely wrecked them there. Banshees get on them, but they should be okay. Raptors have done very well so far. Level 2. Right Lance is in play to pour some DPS onto that Dreadnought. Here comes some grenade action. Oh, that's going to be a dead Havoc Squad, I think. Yes, nicely done by Yogg'Saron. Spotted the opportunity and got in there. Here comes a heavy bolter turret. I believe it has a wider firing arc than the Tech Marine turret. Tarantula turret, I think it's called, the Tech Marine one. But it doesn't seem to do... I don't know if it's just if it's just like confirmation bias or something, but it doesn't seem to do as much damage or suppress as quickly as the Tech Marine turret. I'm not sure if that's actually true. Down goes the Warlock. He's going to break some walls here. There's another Touch of Nurgle Heretic usage to scare things off there. Didn't actually detonate. Synergize is great with Heretics, of course, because you can sacrifice these guys for a Doom Blast, which activates the Touch of Nurgle. Avengers on capping duty, but here comes a Dreadnought to have a word. Don't think he'll stop the cap, but Raptors setting up for a retreat hit here. That's it, done by Bruce Campbell. There's that underslung twin-linked bolter on the Dreadnought as well. You cannot discount that damage. Saw it helping to tear through those Dire Avengers there. Raptors can't quite get on these guys. I don't think he wants to use the jump in this instance. CSM decapping and some dead Banshees over here, thanks to these Heretics who are now capping the VP for a 2-1 for Bruce Campbell. Falcon is up for Yogg'Saron. Here comes some more Havocs for Bruce Campbell. Maybe with an anti-vehicle weapon, although he could rely on the Dreadnought for that. Maybe even get Marco Zinch up. Here is the Heavy Bolter. He can upgrade this turret to a las cannon turret, which is incredibly powerful. And I think it's free these days too. Triple cap now for Bruce Campbell. Plague Champion gets where those guys can now cap. Heretics repairing. CSM need to be careful. Grenades are here, but they'll be okay, I think. Trying to force melee combat now. They did not. Oh, there's a grenade. Pretty nicely done. Takes out one of them. VP is kind of close here. Plenty of power for both players, but nobody able to go tier 3 yet. Bruce Campbell's not far away though, and might well go there. Try and get a tank up perhaps. Oh, he's gone for a melee Chaos Dreadnought. Was not expecting that with a Falcon and Bright Lance on the field. We see how it does. There's a jump from the Raptors, and they are tearing into those Banshees. They've actually done really well versus them. He's chosen their fights pretty damn well so far, Bruce Campbell. Warlock getting involved. We've lost the indicator for him. And he's going to die again. Down he goes. Falcon is a transport vehicle for Eldar. Also allows you to reinforce infantry around it, which is pretty damn useful. Packs some decent firepower too. Will be a little bit of a threat to the Chaos Dreadnought. There's that turret. Can these guys reach it? The Bright Lance? They can. It's going to be shot down pretty quickly by the Bright Lance and the Falcon, as you can see. Down it goes. CSM can't really do anything to the Falcon. Not sure what they're up to here. Are they just trying to get the Bright Lance off the field? Maybe. I guess they are. They're going to take some damage doing it though. 223, 246. stop the Falcon chasing the Dreadnought up, though, and maybe getting some power bashes at least. What's going on over here? Heretics bashing some more nodes. Red player, I should say, getting this VP back. Warlock is still down. Tier 3 for Bruce Campbell. Could get a relatively quick tank up here, I think. Yeah, by the time he gets tier 3, oh, there's Touch of Nurgle again. That's like the third or fourth one we've seen. Very liberal usage of it. This caused some problems for Yogg'Saron. There it goes again. It does very much encourage you to overextend your heretics sometimes, though. We'll see how it does. He chooses to retreat there just as it wore off. And here's some Raptors, and they could kill those Banshees here. That Power Fist model just rips through them. Smack. And down they go, I think. Yes, he tried to keep the Banshees in play and take down those Raptors with the Double Dire Avengers helping out using their Embolden. But those Raptors did the work. Well judged engagement there from Bruce Campbell. Grenades. Well, grenade singular. That did a hell of a lot of damage. I guess the damage from a grenade is increased by Embolden. Embolden increases the damage and the damage resistance of the Dire Avengers, I believe. Falcon's chasing down his Dreadnought. They stop chasing. There's a grenade to get rid of those guys. He might get a full bash here. Dreadnought needs repairs. Where's that Plague Champion at? Here he is. Decapping stuff. Warlock is back on his feet. No tank for Bruce Campbell. What the hell is he waiting for? Does he want a great and clean one? We do get the full bash. Raptors level 3 could try to get on the rear armor of the Falcon, and the Power Fist could get to work. Double cap now for Yogg'Saron and a VP lead. But in terms of rosters and resources, Bruce Campbell, I think, with the advantage here. Definitely. But can he turn it into map control? Eldar are great at that, of course. Any advantage they have, they can eke out some extra VPs and some extra decaps with their speed. Bruce Campbell's certainly saving up for one of the super units. He's a ways away from getting Terminators up because he's used so much red on Touch of Nurgle. 151, 212 on the VPs. Don't want to fight this Dreadnought, Mr. Warlock. Scary melee walker, this guy can activate Blood Rage for even more damage resistance and speed. Khorne would be very pleased. Bruce Campbell takes this VP. He might be able to get a nasty couple of grenades here. Yogg'Saron maybe? Okay, decides against it, backs away. Those heretics tried to run in melee there. They would have got destroyed, I think, by the grenades, but they are just acting as support for the Dreadnought for now, who's chasing the Falcon, but he's using it well. 151, 193. Elsewhere on the map, we've got some Raptors going after the natural VP of Yogg'Saron, and it is a Land Raider Phobos on the way. Very much an anti-vehicle focused Land Raider with las cannons on the sides. Bad news for this Falcon. Bad news for everything, pretty much. We have a Wraith Guard up, who will do a lot of damage to a Land Raider with their Wraith Cannons. Heretics chasing a Bright Lance. Off the field, Raptors trying to get on rear armor here. They got a Power Fist hit too. Look at the damage that it did. Double cap for Bruce Campbell. Wraith Guard getting their Spirit Seer fella. Gives them increased speed and I think like increased vision or something. There he is. The Warlock himself would also give them Spirit Vision, but he's running away. 151, 135 on the VPs, maybe a grenade here, there it is. Done pretty well with those, Yogg'Saron. But here comes the Land Raider Phobos. And I mean, he does have the Falcon, the Bright Lance and the Wraith Guard, but having things to damage the Land Raider and actually being able to get damage on it are two very different things. Raptors can easily tie up the Wraith Guard or the Bright Lance. And so can the CSM, it turns out. Especially when they're not threatened by Banshees anymore. Still threatened by the Warlock, who took some friendly fire then, I think, from the Wraith Guard. Takes 2 big hits from the Dreadnought too. And barely gets away. Bright Lance doing its thing. Wraith Guard doing their thing. Gonna take a lot of damage here. Oh, that's the ability from the Bright Lance I always forget the name of. That increases the damage that a unit takes. Look at that on the Dreadnought. Ouch. Phobos power bashing for the Dark Gods. 15183. Yogg'Saron under serious pressure. If we took that Dreadnought out then, would have been on a much better place, obviously. Has gone tier 3. I was thinking, hey, just get double Fire Dragons up, but tier 3 it is. I don't have time to get anything up though. Double cap against them. 55 VPs remaining. Gets his natural VP back for the 1-to-1. Something's decapping Bruce Campbell's natural too. Havocs are going to try and get it back. Oh, Plague Fist, Plague Champion. And there's that Pestilent Strike. Hits tier 3, but does not have the requisition to really get anything up. I think trying to focus on some tier 2 anti-vehicle would have been a good way to spend resources then from Yogg'Saron. Fire Dragons, Warp Spiders, maybe some more Wraith Guard even. Raptors have been awesome. Halfway through level 3. 116 to 52. There's a triple cap though for Yogg'Saron. Angry Dreadnought on the way. With eyes on some Wraith Guard. Smack. Did not kill a model. I'm disappointed. Here's the Bright Lance again. I think it's called Scorch Beam. That ability. Ouch. Not anymore. 86 to 52. Still a double cap for Yogg'Saron. Getting a late guarded weapon team here. Wants another Bright Lance up, I guess. Falcon's going to take some rear armor hits. Look at that Melter Pistol doing work. Can they chase it down? Another jump might do it. 80 to 52. Can the Power Fist get a hit on? Does it even need to with the Melter Gun there? Down it goes. He's not giving up though, Yogg'Saron. Jumps in on the CSM. We'll get that VP back, you would think. This guy's running into trouble. Looks like Yogg'Saron maybe has given up here. It's a chaos map. Havoc suppressing the Warlock, but he's happy to cap over there. Chaos Dreadnought did pretty well. Certainly gave Yogg'Saron something to think about. And look at that, almost level 3. So did some killing too. It's going to be a double cap and victory for Bruce Campbell here. And there it is. Concede from Yogg'Saron at the end. We had a level 3 Plague Champion fully kitted out with Fetid, Ubiquitous Charge, and Plague Fist, and the Warlock with Warp Throw at the end. Didn't actually see it go off, but maybe it did. And they have it. Very effective Raptors. Did a hell of a lot. That Banshee loss was a turning point, I think, and not getting some more anti-vehicle up, I believe, was a mistake. But hey, what the hell do I know? Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.